Bible studies are great, but have you ever considered how a Bible study could turn into a surrogate spouse that reflects poorly on your marriage? Let me share with you a true story of a lady who realized her Bible study was the impetus that reminded her of the work they needed to do in their marriage. Hello everyone, Rick Thomas here. We're helping people live effective lives. This is Marriage Devotion, day number 20. The title of it is, Your Bible Study Hurts Your Marriage. This is Ephesians 5:33 that I'm looking at, where Paul wrote, However, let each one of you love his wife as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband. I changed the names to protect my friends, but Mabel knocked on my counseling door. She was in tears. She just finished her weekly women's Bible study. The deep dive into God's Word was exhilarating, and the fellowship with her friends was refreshing. But Mabel was in tears. Quizzically, I could not connect her tears with her time with God and with her friends. But then she asked, Would you talk to my husband? 7 syllables. It spoke volumes. Mabel spent a few hours each Tuesday at her church building watching a video from a famous woman speaker on random Bible topics. At some point during her Bible study, Mabel started thinking that something was missing in her life. What she perceived as right, her Bible study, was becoming an unpleasant reminder of something unsatisfying about her marriage. She realized her Bible study and friends had suddenly became her surrogate husband, her mentor, her friend, her confidant. It was one of those moments of clarity. Mabel was not saying her Bible study was unbiblical. No, not at all. However, it was becoming clear to her that this fantastic weekly event had morphed into a sub-biblical context that caused her to forget about her husband's leadership role and the complementarian responsibilities that he has to help them pursue God together. Biff was not leading Mabel spiritually, particularly in the most crucial way a man should be serving his wife in her pursuit of God. And though Mabel had no plans or even a biblical mandate to stop her Bible study, the Lord was gently pressing her consciousness to change the spiritual absence in their marriage. Studying the Bible with friends is not wrong. The problem Mabel perceived was how the study was spurring her toward holiness, but it was in the context of her secondary relationships rather than with her primary one, which is her husband. She benefited from participating in the Bible study, but her good times with close friends highlighted her marital loneliness. Her spiritual maturation in secondary relationships exacerbated the dysfunction of her primary relationship. Thus, Mabel stood in my office crying. The Bible makes a clear case for a husband to love his wife how he loves himself, and that the wife should respect her husband. These are not either-or callings, but both and. What better way can a man love his wife than by spiritually leading her? Why motivate her to pursue secondary relationships for primary care, or make it difficult for her to respect her husband? Seeking supplemental discipleship context, it is smart and it's wise, but nothing should replace conjugal koinonia. Bible studies can complement a person's spiritual growth just like a book can, just like a website like ours, just like another friend. But the issue for Mabel was not her supplemental context. Mabel's problem was her husband's disconnectedness from what the Lord was doing in her life. Her struggle is similar to parents who delegate the spiritual guidance of their children to the local church. Mabel's friends were more intimate with and knowledgeable of her than Biff was. Mabel had a tear in her one flesh union. Half of her one flesh was spiritually thriving, while the other part of her was, spiritually disconnected. If this were her physical body, she would be on her deathbed. Marriage Devotion Day number 20. The title of it is Your Bible Study is Hurting Your Marriage. Here's some reflective thoughts. Perhaps your go-to secondary relationship that refreshes your soul is not a Bible study with friends like it was for Mabel. Maybe your closest camaraderie is with your buddies from work, or maybe it's your favorite social media platform. Perhaps it's your children, or maybe a passionate hobby, or even sports. Secondary relationships that make you feel better do not have to be wrong, but they can be a mistake if they keep the husband from loving his wife and the wife from respecting her husband. The question is, how does this devotion apply to you? If it applies to you, will you make some changes so that your spiritual thriving can be in the husband-wife context, assuming that both partners are willing to do that? Is your spouse your best spiritual friend? If not, will you start asking God to change you and to change your spouse? Do not let anything tear away at your one flesh union. And I realize, like in Mabel's case, this could be a challenge because, quite frankly, Biff was disconnected and disinterested. And so maybe the place where you have to begin to bring this together is prayer with God. Marriage Devotion Day 20, your Bible study hurts your marriage. Thank you for watching.